We really didn't have any contact until about, I would say, 4 o'clock, 4:30, once the sun started coming up, and the Iraqis realized that we were right, literally on top of them, and that's when all hell broke loose.
First light, that place came alive with fighters who came up out of the ground for morning prayer, and all of a sudden it's, you know, holy cow, where'd all these Americans come from? So thousands of firefights erupt all over that place.
We start seeing all kinds of hot spots. A lot of RPGs going off, a lot of small arms fire, a lot of enemy trying to run and hide, just basically people popping up everywhere. They didn't know we were there until we were right on top of them. When the daylight, the sun started rising, it pretty much calmed down. At first we were seeing 10 to 15 enemy troops at one time. Then it started slimming down. You might see 5 and 3. And after a while, it just got quiet. Nobody was around anymore.
Soldiers of 1st Brigade then got their first glimpse of the heart of Saddam's regime, a palace near the airport, abandoned minutes before.
My company was given the task to go clear a couple of buildings in the palaces, and include the one palace, the actual palace itself, which was incredibly ornate, incredibly ostentatious. It was actually a marvel at probably how to misspend one's funds within the country. It was actually appalling to a degree. I mean, it was both beautiful and disgusting at the same time.
And all of a sudden, we're in this palace-like thing: marble, glass, crystal, silver, beautiful Persian carpets. It's everything we had read about, and all of a sudden we're there, and it's just absolutely unbelievable.
Lid phone, yep.
Captured a Syrian guy in a refrigerator in one of the palace kitchens. He said, "Hey, what are you doing here?" He said, "I'm here to defend the faith." A colonel, subsequently we know, a Special Republican Guards colonel, brought us out here, gave us weapons, told us to fight. The Americans are coming, and to defend and die for the faith. And then he left.
Over the next 24 hours, Iraqis counterattacked. Attacks which were ferocious but ineffective, sometimes with improvised weapons.
I mean, people on a 250cc motorcycle with a recoilless rifle mounted on a sidecar, shooting in an M1 tank. Well, it's never going to win. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. 50 guys with AKs right in the back of a cargo truck, taking on a fighting vehicle, that can shoot and kill them at 2 kilometers direct fire. They're never going to win, but they do it over and over and over again.
The airport was now in the hands of U.S. forces, but the regime was still maintaining that the Americans were being defeated.
We crushed the forces in Saddam International Airport, and we cleaned the whole place of the airport. Now the Republican Guard is in full control of Saddam International Airport.
I felt a huge sense of accomplishment on behalf of the brigade combat team, certainly, but the division, because that's the first regime icon to fall. Now, obviously, I'm not sleeping really easily yet, but we're where we were supposed to be, and we knew the regime's on its heels.
With Baghdad airport taken, U.S. Army tanks massed to the south. For months, planners had argued about how to take Baghdad. Accepted military doctrine stated it would take infantry with tanks in support. Major General Blunt's plan challenged that. He wanted tanks alone to storm through Baghdad from the south to meet friendly forces at the airport. It was a lightning maneuver to test Baghdad's defenses. It became known as the Thunder Run.
Then we wanted to really find out what he was going to do in the city, how he was going to defend the city. We hadn't actually gone into the city yet. We had the outside secured. We didn't, and we knew it was still about a tank battalion's worth of tanks that the Special Republican Guards had that we had not destroyed yet. We didn't know where those were, and we knew that he was going to defend the city in some detail, but we didn't know how hard he was going to fight.
The plan of urban warfare with tanks took the soldiers of 164 Armor, part of 3rd Infantry Division, by surprise.
On April 4th, now we got the order, our company commander called all the platoon leaders and platoon sergeants in for a little huddle around his Humvee. And he explained that we're going to go
and we're going to do the thing that none of us thought we were going to do. We're going to take tanks through the center of Baghdad. And we all kind of looked at each other. The one mission we thought we'd never see, we were going to do. When we first got the word, we were a little scared. We were anxious, we were excited, because that's what we came to do.
And then we asked the brigade intelligence officer, what's the enemy situation we can expect? And he honestly had no idea.
We started cleaning our machine guns, linking up ammo, doing before operations checks, and make sure everything was ready to go.
The real intent was to show the enemy we're here and we can do this. And we can get through the city. We're not afraid to fight you in the cities, because the Iraqis were convinced, and that was their propaganda party line, that we wouldn't fight them in the cities, and we couldn't win in the cities.
On the 5th of April, the tanks of 164 Armor set off from the southern edge of Baghdad for the first thunder run into the city.
We just rolled onto this 8-lane highway with these tanks. And the traffic was still going. It was like the middle of the day, so the traffic was normal. And you saw cars swerving around the tanks and everything like that. Looking back on it, it was really a sight.
It was such a sight that one soldier took some photos of the assault into Baghdad from the turret of his tank.
I remember coming over the radio saying to my wingman, how are we going to get through this traffic? And all I heard was this 10-year veteran from the Army saying, don't worry, I got it. He just gave us some gas and went straight on into the traffic.
Meanwhile in Baghdad, Republican guards, irregular Iraqi troops, and foreign fighters, surprised by the approaching convoy, scrambled to defend the city at overpasses and road junctions with shoulder-launched RPGs, rocket-propelled grenades.
The Iraqis had positions all the way on that road, RPGs, anti-aircraft guns, artillery pieces, some BMPs, even some tanks. We countered contact. The entire route was literally a gauntlet.
The thing that's hard about urban is they have a lot of places to hide. And their tactics was wait till we passed by and then to engage us. It was pretty much a lesson on the go.
The Thunder Run was going as planned when intense, well-aimed fire threatened to disrupt the whole maneuver.
As we cleared the first overpass, the elite elements fought their way through there. It was a pretty tough fight. We kept moving. The Trail Tank Company had one of their tanks hit. The RPG penetrated into the engine compartment and started a fire. We had to stop. We didn't want to abandon the vehicle unless we had to. We spent probably 30 minutes, because every time we thought the fire was out, the vehicle would catch fire again. And as we were there, the company was constantly being attacked.
The lead tank crews continued with their assault, not realizing that the rear of the column is stuck behind the stricken tank. At the command post, General Blunt watched the drama unfold on a satellite tracking system.
I could see that there was a break in the column. I was talking to the brigade commander, and he reported they had a tank that had caught fire, and that was what was causing the break. I was very concerned about the separation in the column, where they had that, about a 2-kilometer gap there that had developed as that one tank went down.
These fights were 100 meters, 50 meters, I know in some cases 10 feet. We began to describe the enemy as determined yet stupid. These guys would literally come right at you. It was a bit unnerving. It's not something we expected. And we didn't expect that kind of fanaticism from the Bob Party.
As the Thunder Run headed to the safety of the airport, one of the tank commanders was fatally wounded.
As we got closer to the airport, the resistance got stiffer, and that's because the Iraqis had expected the main attack to come from the airport. And here we came in behind them.
I think the magic moment for us is when we saw the friendly forces at the Baghdad airport. Once we got onto that solid ground, that was definitely a momentous moment.